Now, our next guest got to experience his lifelong dream of fighting for his country, for Ireland, in the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. However, the aftermath was far from a dream as he turned to alcohol to cope with many injuries and setbacks.
Since then, Emmet Brennan has turned his life around. He's become a professional boxer, recently winning the Celtic light heavyweight title on Katie Taylor's undercard. Emmet, good morning. How are you? I didn't read that before.
Great, thanks for having me in.
Can we go back to the Olympics and what happened there? Because it was, I imagine, devastating.
Yeah, like, looking back on it, it was like when I lost the fight,
Yeah.
I was lost. So I had this big goal of being an Olympian for the last 20 years. My whole life revolved around for the last 5 years previous to that. And you never really think of life after the Olympics, you just think of getting there. And I only qualified for the Olympic Games like 6 or 8 weeks prior to the Games. So all I had was this big audacious goal in front of me. Never thought of post-Olympics, and then once that goal is gone, and I was told after the Olympics I was injured, I wasn't really going to go for another Olympic Games, so I just sort of became lost. And then obviously when you get to the Olympics, you want to cash out on it after. You want to make it worthwhile. Yeah. And I was in a position where I was injured post-Olympics and I couldn't really cash in. I couldn't go professional. There wasn't really a chance of going for the next Olympics because of my age. So I was sort of left in limbo for a while and found it hard to do it.
They call it the gold medal syndrome, I think, where you have this lifelong dream and all of a sudden you achieve it and then it's, well, what next? And I mean, you've got the Olympic rings tattooed on your arm. As you say, that was the dream, to represent your country at an Olympic Games. Like, I remember the interview with Des Cahill that you did after it. Like, you know, you could feel your heart breaking on people's TV screens. And I think when you came home from that, you know, your name, people knew you for it, but it's difficult then in what happens next because you didn't know whether you were going to go pro, whether you continue amateur or not. Can you talk to us about the spiral, like how difficult it was? You know, you had to go get surgery on your shoulders. You went to New York and started drinking. Like, you went through a really difficult period.
Yeah, like, look, first of all of that is down to me. Like, I made them choices, I suppose.
But you're not the only person who does this.
I suppose being an athlete and being a high-performance athlete, you should be able to deal with adversity a little bit better. And I didn't, and that's on me. But yeah, I came back from the Olympic Games and obviously, as I said there, I qualified 6 weeks before the Olympics. So no one had a clue who I was up until the Olympic Games. Then you come back, you have a small bit of a profile. As I said, you're trying to cash in on the Olympic Games and the opportunities weren't there for me. They weren't there for me. And then you take away this big goal, like that you said, the gold medal syndrome, and you hear about that and you never think it's going to happen to you. But it did happen to me, and I tried to get back to boxing, I suppose, 2 or 3 months post-Olympics. So I enjoyed myself for 2 or 3 months, and then I was like, right, the party is over, time to get back to training. Try go professional and try make something out of it. The shoulder still wasn't recovering, and I was like 5 months post-Olympics. It turned out I had to get surgery on the shoulder, which again, I was 30 going 31. It's not ideal when you're trying to start a professional career, but I went into it with the mindset that I was going to make it happen. So I got the surgery in January 2022. I was told there'd be a 12-week recovery on the surgery. So in the meantime, I went to New York. It'd always been my dream to box out in New York, the Irish community. The last real person that done that was a boxer called John Dudley, and he had like 4,000 or 5,000 people going to his fights, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to try it. So I went over to New York in March 2022 of these big dreams of becoming a professional boxer and making something of myself post-Olympics, but the shoulder still wasn't recovered where I thought it would have been. And you're 5,000 kilometres away from home where you don't really know anyone, and anyone you do know, they work in pubs. So I just found myself in the pub day after day after day after day. I walked around. I was over in New York for 70 days, and I think I drank for about 60 of them. And I mean, like, not drinking, going for 3 or 4, out at 4 o'clock in the day, back at 4 o'clock in the morning. So it was just an accumulation of drinking day after day after day. And
a cycle.
Yeah, it just became normal for me.
But the depression must have been, because, you know, if you're drinking that much and you've got the drink depression and then everything that's going on with you, I can't imagine how your mind was. How did you go have to stop this?
Like, if you think about it, 8 months previously, I was sitting in Tokyo at the Olympic Games, and I remember sitting there in New York and having that realisation of where I was 9 months before and where I am right now. And that was probably like one of the darkest moments where you sort of got to hit rock bottom to realise you're going down the wrong road. My mother, she also came over to New York, and I must have been about 50 or 60 days in by the time. It was like the end of me 2 months in New York, and she hadn't seen me in 2 months. I looked terrible. Now, she never said it to me, but you know your mother's look. She wasn't, I turned up drunk when I was supposed to meet her, so she wasn't very, very happy. And I was getting to a point where I realised if I kept on going, there was no way back. So I just made that decision. Now, when I made the decision, I had 10 days left in New York. So in my head, I'm all or nothing. I was like, I'm going to drink myself silly for the next 10 days, and then that's it. I'm cutting it out. And I haven't drank since.
And that happened?
Okay.
That happened,
Fair
yeah,
play.
that happened.
Sorry, that's amazing.
yeah.
Well done.
It is amazing, and it just shows, like you said, like, yes, it's on me that I let that happen, but at the same time, it's incredible how you're able to turn it around, because you are here, you're gone professional, you're 2-0, you have your belt here again, you were fighting in Katie Taylor's undercard just a few weeks ago, beat Jamie Morrissey in that. Like, as you say, you're 32 now, you're going hard at pro, you're going to hopefully fight in New York in the next few months, which you said is another dream. Like, you know, things are absolutely going the right direction. You must be so proud of yourself.
Yeah, like, you never stop to think you're proud of yourself, but the trajectory that I'm on at the moment, things are just getting better and better and better, and chances are happening for me, doors are opening.
Yeah.
I do put that down to not drinking, because it's just an accumulation of positive things happening day after day after day. And I grew up and I chased the dream every single day. And the fight on Katie Taylor's undercard in the Tree Arena, a kilometre from my house, for me, it was almost like redemption from the Olympics, because I didn't put my best foot forward in the Olympics, and I didn't put my best foot forward after the Olympics. Here I am, like 18, 20 months later, a complete turnaround.
A second
to
chance.
who I was. It's a second chance, and I only would have get that second chance if I made them changes.
Yeah.
I hope you take a second, and I don't want to be patronising at all. It's amazing what you've done to go, no, I'm done now, I'm coming back in this. It's the mental fortitude. I actually just, it's fantastic. And then you've gone off, you're doing this other thing, you're doing boxing classes. You've got this goal to have like 50% men, 50% women, because it's fitness, it's confidence, it's all these things that you're bringing to your local area and to both genders.
Yeah, and it's brilliant. Like, the community that we have in the gym, FightR, it's excellent. I suppose the most rewarding thing I've got from FightR was, we got a text from one of the girls. She's up and she's from the country. She was about to move back from Dublin to Cork until she joined FightR, and she's staying here now because I'm not sure if she didn't feel like she was fitting in, or she was just lonely up in Dublin. Now she's at that meeting a community of people that she socialises with outside of the classes. So what we're doing in our area, it is actually unbelievable, and we're doing it through fitness and well-being, and the positives that it's bringing to people's lives. I'm more proud of that than I am in my own boxing career.
It's amazing. Any and all genders. It's fantastic.
And the fact that in your boxing club it's yourself and Jordan Moore who are coaching, and like that's like top level coaching as well.